Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Steve, your host, and in this series we are building the Academy M551 Sheridan. It's a kit from 2005. It was something I really wanted when it first came out. Took me about 21 years to get it on the bench, but I hope you guys enjoy the video series. You guys have a great day, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. All right, well, back about 2005, I rushed down to our local hobby town in Colorado Springs because I had asked them to reserve my Sheridan kit for me. And they did that, and I'm really grateful for it. And then it sat unbuilt for 21 years. I decided to do this as a build while I'm here in France. And I have to tell you, I really enjoyed it. It may not be accurate, but it really is a fun build. So I just want to go over some of the things that I found interesting during the build. You've got a bathtub lower hull, which I always appreciate. You've got some suspension components that clean up pretty well, and the fit's pretty good. I'm not really sure what this piece does. There's a couple of them. They were a bit fiddly to fit in, but they will fit in. They only go in a certain way. In the Tamiya kit, this is covered, but this is actually accurate from what I've been told. I don't know what the purpose of that was, either lightning or whatever. The suspension's kind of interesting because you've got kind of fore and aft in each place. Normally all the arms, the swing arms, go one way, except on the German big cats where you got a set going backwards and a set going forward. Also, I was told through my research that you've got 3 tie downs here. I guess there's a total of 7 because this was airborne droppable on a pallet or a platform of some type. On the bottom, there's one piece here, and I'm told from friends, and I'll share a link with you on a really detailed review of this, that they got the underside backwards or it's wrong. So I don't really know. I'll leave it up to the experts and let you guys make your own decisions on it. But overall, everything fit in well. I was pretty happy with it. You know, it's funny, on my Sunday side build, I am building a Smart Kit DML Panzer 3H, and not only are there a lot of small bits and pieces that go to it, the instructions, the call-outs in the instructions are wrong, and it's just been frustrating. It's been slow. So this was nice. I think this was 3 nights, and I was able to get the bulk of this together. So I was pretty pleased with that. Moving over to the upper, again, you know, it's better that when this came out in 2005, I think Jaguar had put a resin kit out, but before that, there was only the original 1971 Tamiya Sheridan. So for this is light years ahead of it. It may not be the whole game, but it's a good part of it. These screens are molded in place along with this back here on the back decking. I've been told that this is more of a Desert Storm exhaust than anything else, but I don't have anything else to replace it with, so I'm just going to leave it there. Typical Academy tools. They were nice. They fit. You just kind of have to eyeball these. There was positive contact and gluing points for these hooks. I'm told that the way this looks is this is a later modification, that they were initially welded down, but they kept coming out, so now they're bolted down. Up here, you've got some nice, you got some nice detail. You got the headlights. These may be a bit thick, but they're one piece, and they cleaned up well, and I thought, hey, that's pretty good. Looks good. One thing I noticed, and I had this from the review, was that the driver's hatch doesn't fully fill this space, which is wrong. So there's nothing I can do about it with my skill set, so I'm just going to live with it. But just something to watch out for. Overall, it went together really well. This is all molded in, so you don't have to do that. This is all molded in as far as where the screens are at. I don't know how pronounced these rivets were, or this fasteners were on the kit, on the actual model, but they're there and they'll look good when it's dry brushed and painted up. There's the emergency engine fire extinguisher there, and what else we got? There's the back. This was all molded into. This is more of the rear screen. So overall, it really is a fun build, and I enjoyed it. And we got the road wheels. The road wheels were pretty straightforward. Unfortunately, you didn't get any poly caps. So yeah, but it's okay, and they kind of stay on the axles while you're dry fitting and doing things like that. I always like poly caps, but that's not a deal breaker. You've got these guys, you've got the drive and the idlers are very similar, with at least in the kit. The only difference being in the drive, you've got the sprocket insert, and on the idler you don't. I don't know how that matches with the real world. I think in that review I read that there should be some more detail in it. So for me, I was okay with that. I moved on to the turret, and I thought the turret was really neat. It built really quick. The only thing you needed to watch out for was this antenna, this mount, and the actual little antenna stub that go in it aren't called out in the instructions. So the only reference I saw in the instructions was there was a picture of it. And the parts are on the sprue. You just have to, you gotta dig around on the sprue to find it. I think it's on the B sprue, on the turret sprue. You've got some, you've got the for the xenon light. You've got the electrical mount. You've got the missile equipment there. The one thing I did do was, because like I said, a friend of mine had worked Sheridans. He absolutely hated the gun tube that came with this. He said it measured out to be about 217 millimeters, where in reality this was a 152 millimeter gun launcher. I had Academy's M60A2 down in the basement. It came with the one with the fume extractor, and it came one for the closed breech scavenging system. So I just pinched this. I chopped it down a little bit. I kind of eyeballed it from references I have, but I think I've got it where it looks about right. I'm really happy that I did this mod. I just really think it really looks like the vehicle with the right gun tube on it. As far as the mantlet, I gave this a cast texture with some Mr. Surfacer 500. Just stippled that on, let it dry a bit, stippled it a bit more. And yeah, I thought it's going to look good painted up. You've got the, it looks like some sort of shade for the gunner's sight. You don't have the MG sticking out there, which is a shame. But I'm not sure, depending on which MG was in there, if it stuck out anyway. Let me get a better picture of that. You've got the, looks like a shade for the gunner's sight. But overall, I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. The loader's hatch, bit bare bones. I've got some figures for it that I'm going to put in it. And those figures came from the Academy ACAV series. They've got Vietnam figures in there on the M113 ACAV they did. So did a bit of arm swapping around, nothing major, and they'll fit into the turret. This piece really built up well. Now, for me, I was happy that this was solid, but in reality, this isn't solid. But it did give a pretty sturdy base to mount the rest of this stuff on. The locating holes are positive, so that went on pretty good. The grenade launchers went on. They don't have, I didn't see grenades for them, so I don't know. So I'm just going to leave them like it is. The thing that was really, I wouldn't say, I had some concerns about this, but I've heard this referred to as the teacup. And this is a multiple piece assembly, and really it went together really well. There was some sink marks in there that I knocked out or filled in and sanded. The caliber 50 comes with the kit. It's pretty much the standard Academy caliber 50 you get. It's a bit fiddly. The ammo box kind of rides up against the shield cover, so just be careful when you put it in there. But it's a flexible mount. It moves side to side, and overall I think it's got some nice detail on it. What I did was it had a locating notch on the turret. So what I did was I took that notch off just so I could have the teacup or the commander's cupola pointed in different directions. One thing I was disappointed with, it just didn't have any way to sit in that hole. Really what it does, this rides around the circle there. I thought that was a bit naff, but I can live with that. I'm going to end up gluing that down. But overall, it's been a really fun build, and we'll get to the figures. What I did was, let me see here, I'll get them guys out of the way. Yeah, with the Academy ACAV, there's four soldiers. 3 of them actually go on the vehicle. This was the driver, but what I did with him was I just swapped out the arms until I got the fit I wanted. This guy's going to be up with his arms on the hatches in the cupola, and this guy's just going to be riding in the loader's hatch. So I'm looking forward to painting those guys up. But overall, not a lot of parts. It's a fun build, right? It won't be the most accurate thing you can do. If you did one thing to the kit, you can either see if you can scrounge a gun tube, or you can probably go down to your hobby shop and you can just do it out of aluminum tube, and that shouldn't be too hard. But no, I enjoyed the build, and I'll be honest with you, after battling the Dragon Smart Kit, which I'll have a video up this week on that one because I've got a lot of work done on that. This was nice and relaxing. It's probably got less than 200 parts. Before I forget, I just want to point out the tracks. I'm not really sure what happened with the tracks. The tracks, it's got these, the double set of guide teeth that are very close together. There, you can see that there are rubber pads on the inside, which is fine, which is accurate. But on the other side, what they did was you have these shallow, I don't know, there should be rubber pads in these on the outside of the tracks, and they have the form for it, but there's just no rubber pads in them. So really what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the tracks, I'm going to rust it like I normally do the normal weathering, and I'm just going to drop a bit of black in each one and just go for the visual, because you can spend, I'd end up spending more on the tracks than I did with the than I did for the kit, and I just won't do that. But what else we got here? But yeah, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get the stowage in here. I've got to get some green stuff, because what I like to do is I like to get the kit supplied stowage, and I have a lot of plastic and resin stowage in and around. What I like to do is I like to get that in a basket, in and around, then just kind of put some tarps, epoxy tarps in, that it looks the job, so things aren't floating and things look like they're in there tight, and it'll really fill up the basket. I'm going to show, there's going to be a transition here. You'll see what it looks like all put together but not painted. I think you'll like what I did. You guys please give me a comments what you think, and please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you. Okay, well, here we have the build kit. There are some minor things I need to do with it. I need to put in the screening for the 11th ACR baggage rack. I'm going to add some stowage to it. I've got some figures for it, which I'm pretty happy for. Overall, it looks like a Sheridan to me. I'm going to leave a link. There's a great review on Kitmaker by, I can't pronounce his name, he goes by Vodnik, I think he's a Polish fellow named Pavel, something really Polish. And he worked with a friend of mine, Matt Kuros, to review the kit. Matt happened to be an old Sheridan driver from the 82nd Airborne, so they really go into detail what they got right and what they got wrong. But for me, the buildability was really important. It was a fun build, not a lot of parts. I thought the instructions were well laid out. And, you know, if it's in your stash and you've got it, it's worth a build. So thanks for tuning in. And I will have Hans play us out, so you guys enjoy the day. All right then, thanks for stopping by.